represents everything corrupt, bloated and wrong. It's perfect for parents looking for the movie is so disappointing in fact that it makes one of the most repulsive Christmas movies look like a masterpiece. These are all critics' reviews of one of my favourite films of all time, The Cat in the Hat. And today I'm going to prove them wrong, because this film is truly a masterpiece.
Sorry.
Yeah, today we're going to be looking at the 2003 movie adaptation of Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat. I'm going to go over some of the controversy surrounding the film and then we'll watch it. But first, how did it come about? The original The Cat in the Hat book was released in 1957 and was of course written by Dr. Seuss, whose actual name is Theodore Geisel, and it tells the story of two children, Sally and her brother, who are at home bored, and then the Cat in the Hat comes and entertains them, but wrecks their house, but he manages to tidy up just in time before their mum gets home. And the book was a huge success. It's actually credited as the book that made Dr. Seuss famous, and actually in 2001, Publishers Weekly listed the book as the 9th best-selling children's book of all time. But in 1991, Dr. Seuss passed away, and control over his books and characters were passed on to his wife, Audrey Geisel. Now, when Dr. Seuss had been alive, he'd been very picky with what he would allow other companies to do with his work, and actually never accepted any merchandising deals. However, once he passed, Universal approached Mrs. Geisel about making an entire Dr. Seuss themed land at their park in Orlando, and she was eventually convinced to let them by how impressive the designs were. This built a good relationship between her and Universal, and a few years later they asked her about producing a live-action movie of the book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. She was reluctant to begin with, but thanks to the work of Jim Carrey, she was convinced. However, this was as long as she could approve the script, as she didn't want any obvious adult humour or dark jokes, and this meant they went through 8 drafts of the script before she was happy. The film eventually released in 2000 and was a box office hit, and so Universal quickly looked to convert another of Seuss's books, The Cat in the Hat. With a good relationship with Geisel, they were able to make the film without any need for script approval, and so, yeah, they included a lot of jokes that maybe could be considered adult. But this, along with the fact that Carey actually turned the role down, led to Geisel absolutely hating the movie, along with many critics. In fact, the movie has a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and also received multiple Razzie nominations, which is basically awards for bad films, and this included Worst Actor for Mike Myers and Worst Excuse for an Actual Movie. Now, I'll get onto my thoughts on the movie after we've seen it, but I will say this, I do understand why you could be unhappy with your source material being changed in a way that you didn't want. I mean, it wasn't her source material, but, you know, it's still sort of her source material, right? I do get that. However, that doesn't make a film bad, because guess what? You can change things for the better. Anyway, Geisel hated it so much that she vowed that no studio would ever be allowed to make another live-action adaptation of any of her husband's books, and this meant the sequel, which was actually planned, never saw the light of day. So yeah, from all that, you'd think this film is totally inappropriate and absolutely terrible, but let's actually watch it and find out. Okay, I know this is dumb, but the movie starts with the classic Universal logo, but it actually looks like this. Just me that finds that really cool. I don't know, but even then, the DreamWorks logo is different. Slay. But anyway, the movie actually starts and we see the city of Anvil where the movie is set, and oh my god, it looks so cool. Anyway, we then make our way into town and Humber Floob's real estate office, where we see this woman, Joan, finding out that her babysitter is cancelled, and so she has to go home to look after her kids. But before that, we see the owner, Mr. Humber Floob himself, introducing a new member of staff.
Nick Flanagan!
Mr. Humberfloom, I wanted to thank you.
Fired.
I beg your pardon?
Fired.
But I...
That fired phrase is something I still say to this day, and also very randomly along with that, what's going on from Axel F? Anyone else say that? I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, Mr. Humberfloop then announces that tonight there's a meet and greet party being held at Joan's house, and apparently last time she held one, it was very messy, and Mr. Humberfloop, he doesn't like mess. So Joan goes home to their lovely purple house, and we're introduced to her children, Sally and Conrad, and their dog, Nevins. Conrad is a lunatic, and he's already up to no good, just randomly trashing the kitchen. What child does this? But even whilst this is happening, I can't help but notice how cool all the appliances are. Anyway, the lunatic then puts a loaf of bread down his trousers for protection, and well, he probably needed a bit more because he flies down the stairs, through the front door, and straight into the car. And to make matters worse, Nevins runs away, and also somehow Conrad was fine from that. He just got up and walked away. But luckily, Nevins isn't gone for long, because guess who comes through the door? Larry Quinn, Joan's boyfriend and their neighbour. And God, I love this guy. And yes, it is Alec Baldwin, not his brother who we saw in the 50 Shades of Grey ripoff. But we find out Larry hates Conrad and is trying to convince Joan to send him to military school. Let's be real, I do think he's got a point there.
Have you given some thought about the Wilhelm Academy? This is a once-in-a-lifetime proposition, and you must act now.
Anyway, he then wheels out his charm.
Single mother, career woman, raising 2 children on your own, and still finding time to be the best darn real estate agent in town.
Damn, Larry, got me acting up.
Snot-nosed little son of a wonderful woman who I'm absolutely crazy about. Gosh, I love children.
Anyway, Mr. Humbleflude then calls Joan back to the office, so she calls Mrs. Kwan to babysit.
No chewing tobacco.
Thanks, Mom. You have my word.
That's pretty fair. But the main rule she gives them is not going in the living room. So Joan goes off back to work, and we then see Larry, for some reason, faking he was going to work. Pretty suspicious. And then, a totally random thing, Mrs. Kwan puts on the TV, and it's Taiwanese Parliament.
Taiwanese Parliament.
Classic Taiwanese Parliament. But then, something goes bump. What could it be? Oh, you know, the totally normal thing of a cat in a hat.
A monster? Where?
So obviously the children are terrified of the Krusty the Clown sounding 6-foot cat and try to run away, but he introduces himself.
Why, I'm the Cat in the Hat. There's no doubt about that. I'm a super fundiferous feline who's here to make sure that you're me-line, key-line, turpentine.
But obviously the question is, where did he come from?
How do I put this? When a mommy cat and a daddy cat love each other very much, they decide that...
No.
This is such brain rot. Like, what the hell is going on?
Hello!
Anyway, so the cat sees Joan and what the hell?
Humana, 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 humana. Who is this? Oh.
That's my mom.
I can guarantee if this movie was re-released today, it would bang. Come on, like, it is mental. Anyway, the cat is basically here just causing chaos. He sits on their babysitting Mrs. Kwan and then hangs her up.
You pay this woman to sit on babies? That's disgusting. I do it for nothing.
But why is the cat actually here? Well, he says he's here to help Sally and Conrad out of their boredom, and he offers them either an injection or a musical number because somehow that would help them have fun. Anyway, he performs the musical number even though they asked for the injection, and then somehow their fish can now start talking. But then he does another musical number, and then a bull appears, and then he accidentally drinks some milk, and then... But through all this craziness, the children now love him and make him stay. But if he's going to stay, the children have to sign a contract. And without reading, they sign and the party starts. The cat immediately breaks Joan's rule of going into the living room because he wants to jump on the sofa, as you do. But first he needs to make the sofa compatible for jumping.
Let's take a look under the hood. Where's my dad? Sorry.
What on earth is going on?
Down, Chipper! Down, Chipper!
But he turns the sofa into a trampoline and Sally and Conrad join him. What will their mother say? But oh my god, guess who walks in on them? Larry. And he says it how it is to Sally.
Baby, angel, princess, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, okay? Nobody likes a suck-up!
Anyway, luckily Larry has cat allergies and so he starts sneezing uncontrollably and just leaves. So they get back to business and Sally says she wants to bake cupcakes, so they start a TV show and somehow there's 3 cats and he does an English accent and it's pretty good to be fair.
Now! Hello, I'm so excited!
But he brings out the cupcakeinator, which can make cupcakes instantly out of anything.
Wait a minute, did you say anything?
Anything.
Anything. Anything. Yes, anything. 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 I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident.
So yes, he puts in eggs, hot dogs, ketchup, even a fire extinguisher, and yes, it does somehow make a mixture.
That's impossible! You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum. Did you just call my mother ugly? Shut up! I mean it. I will end you. Son of a bitch!
What the actual hell was that? But the cupcake mixture is going crazy in the oven and explodes all over the house, and also doesn't even taste nice, unfortunately. So the cat obviously has to clean it up. So he goes and gets Joan's dress for this evening and uses it to try to clean it up. And yes, obviously he ruins it.
It was ruined when she bought it. Yeah.
Damn, but how's he going to fix it? Well, the cat brings in some help in the form of two things, thing one and thing two, but there's also something else in the box they came in, and Conrad has a look, but Cat says, no, you shouldn't do that because it's the transporter from his world to this world. So one rule, do not open it. Anyway, the things manage to get the stain out of Mum's dress, but it goes on the sofa and then the curtains and then the whole house. So Conrad and Sally have to stop thing one and thing two because now they've just gone mental, just trashing the house for some reason. Conrad then stupidly decides to pick the lock of the crate and attaches it to Nevin's collar. Like, get lost, mate, go to military school. But anyway, why were thing one and thing two trashing the house? Because apparently they do the opposite of whatever you say, and so then they chuck the dog out the window. So yeah, it's all gone to chaos. So now they need to go get Nevin's because one, he's their dog, but two, they also need to get the lock for the crate back.
Look, if we don't get that lock off of Evans and put it back on this crate, we're gonna be staring down the business end of the mother of all messes.
So how are they going to do it?
Murder.
That's your option?
Not quite. Instead, they hunt after Nevin's, but not before we see this iconic clip. Yeah, Larry isn't this high-flying businessman he makes out to Joan, but he sees Nevin's and decides to call Joan to let her know he's going to get that dog. Oh, Larry. Anyway, the gang spot Nevin and hatch a plan, basically just Cat jumping over the fence.
Time to die!
Cat, you scared him away!
Dirty hoe! I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
Come on, Cat!
Yep, as you can guess, that's one of the jokes all the critics hate. But yeah, they find Nevin once again in someone's garden who's having a party, and the party goes outside whilst they're in the garden, and so the cat hides as the piñata.
Step out of my way. This cannot end well.
Yeah, he obviously screams, so the kids all realise that's an actual cat, but Conrad just throws the candy and the children don't care, and then the cat is, yes, about to batter the guy who did it, but gets pulled away at the last moment, unfortunately. Anyway, they find Nevin once again.
Our bogey is in range. Commence search and destroy.
What?
But guess who gets there first? Yeah, Larry gets to Nevin first, so Cat pulls out something he's been hiding, his car.
Here she is, the super luxurious omnidirectional whatchamajigger.
Which stands for slow. Obviously not a great name for a car, but still better than their last name.
Super hydraulic instantaneous transporter.
Oh, you mean...
Yep, this was a PG. Anyway, so the chase is on and they go through a red light as you do. Then the brake pedal falls off. They also go the wrong way down a one-way street.
Hey, Rhode Island license plate. You never see those.
So yes, obviously they crash, but they see Larry just ahead, and to stop him from getting to Joan first, they attempt to trick him into giving them the dog. So their plan involves the cat dressing up as a hippie and asking him to sign his petition with an oversized pen which requires 2 hands. So he hands over the dog and it works, and so the cat runs away with the dog. Absolutely mental. But then they see one of these things, which you randomly see around towns, but this one opens up into an underground nightclub. Oh my god, that is so cool. And I actually watched this film a lot growing up, and I genuinely believed this was a real thing. And actually, why the hell is it not? But yeah, luckily everyone at the club is dressing up in cat hats, as you do. And then the most random thing ever, the cat sees Paris Hilton and is, well, distracted, and Larry catches up to them, but they just about get away. But oh no, the cat's hat was switched, and his hat is basically the thing that possesses all his powers. And to make matters worse, Larry goes and tells Joan about how the kids have been running around causing chaos, and they start making their way home. So they get thing 1 and thing 2 to come and help them and steal Larry's car to take them home. But speaking of home, how's that looking with the crate open? Oh. Anyway, they get the things to slow down Larry and Joan, so they dress up as police and pull them over. But Larry spots the kids in the car going past and steals the thing's motorbike to chase after them. The kids and cat get home along with Larry, and the house is, oh, it's perfect until... Yeah, the house has gone mental. But also, is Larry dead? I mean, that was a pretty big fool. Anyway, the cat and the kids know they have to somehow find the crate and close it to save the day. So they take this ride to try and get to it, and then we see this classic clip.
This is amazing! It's like a ride in an amusement park!
You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching.
Probably the best clip ever in any movie. But they eventually get to the end of the ride whilst Joan is still being held up by the things. And luckily they find the crate, they try to shut it, but Sally goes flying. But Conrad just about shuts it in the nick of time, and the house goes back to normal. Poor Larry, but yeah, the house is absolutely trashed, and oh, the cat's hat is actually still his normal one, and he reveals to the children he's planned the whole day, including the crate being open, and the kids now hate him because he's just absolutely destroyed their house, and so they kick him out.
Susie. Cromwell. Please.
Oh, poor kitty. But Susan and Cromwell decide they're just going to take the blame. The door opens, but oh wow, the cat is back, and he reveals in the contract they signed, it reads, if Conrad opens the crate, the contract shall be null and void. However, if the two of them learn their lesson, it becomes reinstated, and so he has to clean up their house for them, and just in time. Yes, the cat saves the day, he says his goodbyes, and Joan gets home, and also Larry comes in, but he arrives looking like this.
Hello, Joan.
Lawrence, what happened to you?
He tries telling Joan what's happened, but obviously it sounds absolutely mental, and Conrad sticks it to him, and Joan pushes him out. And I hate it. I hate it. Larry's my guy. You know, he said nothing but the truth. If they don't want to believe him, they're just haters. But and then he goes and proposes to Joan as well, and oh dear.
Will you marry me, Joan? Joan.
So there we go, happy ending for everyone apart from Larry. The meet and greet is great, Mr. Humberflube loves it, they even like the cupcakes that they made earlier on, and that is the end of the film. That is The Cat in the Hat. What a movie, okay? No criticisms, I have none. Okay, maybe I would have liked Conrad to die, but other than that, this is genuinely a 10 out of 10. Like, I just don't even care what anyone else says. It's 10 out of 10. People who don't like this movie, you've got to be the dullest, dumbest, most dry-ass people ever. I absolutely hate film critics who think, oh, this movie isn't a 2-hour artsy masterpiece, so it's terrible. Like, a film's purpose is to be entertaining, and this is entertaining from minute one till the end. I laughed the whole way through. It's amazing. I don't even care. Obviously, I do get it that maybe some of the jokes are a bit too adult, maybe. But you know what? I watched this growing up when I was really young. And most of the jokes that were too adult, I just didn't understand and just sort of ignored. So I don't really think it's that bad to include jokes like that. Like, children either already understand and thus have already been exposed to it, or don't understand and just aren't gonna get it. Either way, I loved this film growing up, and it's actually one of the few films that stuck with me. Like, I watched loads and loads of films when I was younger, but you watch them and, you know, even if I liked them when I was younger, you just sort of forget about a lot of films. But I could never forget this film, all right? I still absolutely love it. And yeah, honestly, I think if you go and watch it after this video, you will absolutely love it as well, because it is so funny. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Cat in the Hat movie. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. Do you like it? And yes, you obviously have to say yes, otherwise you're wrong. But no, actually let me know your thoughts on it down below. I'm interested to see what you guys think of it. Did you grow up with it? Did you actually like it? Do you think it maybe is too adult? Maybe think it's not that funny either? You're wrong. But anyway, yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.